back up at the start now for the start of event number 48, the women's under 23 quad. And sitting in the gates now, we have lane 2, City Island, lane 3, Burnaby Lake, lane 4, Cambridge, lane 5, Orion, lane 6, Craftsbury, and lane 7, Vesper on the far side.
As you said earlier, Ali, we are closing in on our last 2,000-meter races. Just, you can see here in the bottom of your screen, that umpire there, her name is Tammy Duncan. Fun fact, my name is Brent Duncan. That's my mom. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Tammy.
But as I was saying, Ali, you were noting earlier, it is almost time for our dashes. So this is event number 48. We are, after this, going to have the women's senior double, event 49, then event 50, the men's under 23 pair. Then we'll have a bit of a break. It should be about a 25-minute break as they prepare, bring the starting gates across for the bottom 500 meter for the dashes, and that's going to happen at about 4:26.
And they are off the start of the women's under 23 quad. So we're talking about sculling here. So each athlete, each of the 4 athletes in the cruise, they have 2 oars each. Oh, and there's a great shot there of safety boat driver Tiffany Rush.
We just know everyone that's on the screen right now. Of course, perhaps maybe not so much the athletes who are racing. One thing to note, I believe the only Canadian crew here is in lane 3. That's the Burnaby Lake team. 2-seat Eliza Luo is at least, I believe she's entering grade 12. She's certainly under 19. Really kind family. I know her mother volunteers at the Burnaby Lake Club. They host a small boat regatta in October, and of course they're going to be the hosts of the National Rowing Championships. And of course the coach there, Cinda, she's really well known, of course, if you are in the Canadian rowing circuit. She was the Rowing Canada 2006 Female Coach of the Year and is one of the row perfect, kind of the ergometer, the rowing machine. She's one of the row perfect Canada reps.
Exciting stuff in a quad. You know, we talk about boat speed or relative boat speed. Of course, more oars means more speed. Coaching a quad and rowing in a quad, you can really get these boats moving at a high rate of speed and get them moving very quickly through the water. So it looks as though...
I think that's Craftsbury. You can tell the neon yellow that they've got. They've always got the yellows, the greens, a little bit of neon to them, and it really stands out. And really, I think they... You know, as a perennial contender, I don't think I've seen them on the podium too much this week. Lots of finals, but they just seem to be on the short end of the races so far. They're going to be trying, I'm sure, the combination of Jennifer, Mackenzie, Rihanna, and Laura trying to push back and get back on the podium. Always really competitive programs out of Craftsbury, perennially contenders, and those girls, I'm sure, trying to put their club back on the map this year.
Definitely. I know Craftsbury development is the name of the game. They put a lot of resources and a lot of energy into creating and building and supporting some really excellent scullers. So I have no doubt that they're going to put on a good show for us today.
Interesting to see this exciting race unfolding. Doesn't seem to be any crew really getting left behind. They will have had to come through certainly semifinals. They will have had to race before. Some tight racing, I have no doubt, to get into this final. And really, I mean, an under 23 women's quad, I'm sure, is one of the more competitive events. Not that there's no easy events here at Royal Canadian Henley. This certainly not one to even consider chalking up to that as a senior event and a sculling event, maybe one of the more small boat events, of course, compared to an 8. Really tough, tight racing, and it'll be exciting to see how the bottom half of this unfolds as Craftsbury approaches the 1,000-meter line. I think first, but not to be undone, that looks to be Arion out of Saratoga trying to close that gap, trying to chase them down, trying to chase down Craftsbury, but still Craftsbury's race to lose. They are in command, a little bit of open water over Arion as they cross the 1,000-meter mark.
Absolutely. Both of these programs are focusing on particularly under 23 development, and they're doing a fantastic job of it from the looks of it. I know Jenny McIlvaine in the Craftsbury crew came second in the women's under 23 lightweight single final, and that was on Thursday. So she's already been in a final. She's already had this experience, and I'm sure second place, particularly a Canadian Henley where there's only a gold medal, she's probably looking to take home some hardware today.
Of course, that was a lightweight race you just mentioned, so that means earlier in the week she will have had to weigh in at 59 kilograms every day that she did race. This is not a lightweight race, but you do see that fairly often, certainly at the club level, at university level, high school level, and increasingly at the international level. You're going to find more and more lightweights racing in heavyweight events, because certainly at the Olympic level there are only the lightweight men's and lightweight women's double. There are only those 2 seats for Olympic crews, so you are starting to see more and more lightweight international athletes trying to transition, and some of them very successfully transitioning up to race against and as a heavyweight. And it does really seem to be Craftsbury's race as they're coming through the island past the red buoy in the middle of the middle 500. That marks the 1250. They're approaching the 1500 meter pylon, going past those gates in the background of the shot right now. Those gates are going to get drawn across, as I was saying, in a couple of races. Those will be the start gates for the dash races that start at 4:26. We will take a bit of a break before then, after the men's under 23 pair in 2 races, but really Craftsbury dominating this women's under 23 quad race. They've got about a boat of open water, so probably about a 6-second lead currently over Arian.
Absolutely. Mackenzie King also coming second in the under 23 women's double, and Rhiannon Mulligan, coming in the women's under 23 single. Looks like she's made the final for that tomorrow at about 1:30. So these scullers have come through a lot of racing. The quad seems to pull everybody together and get into a crew boat. It's definitely working out for them.
Yeah, that is just a dominant performance so far, continuing. They're just continually increasing the lead. They generated a bit in the first 500, and they're not settling. They are not satisfied. They're looking for more. They're trying to win by as much as they can. If we were here at the Henley Royal Regatta, over in England, in Henley-on-Thames, at the beginning of July, they would say that they are, it's a gladiatorial event. It is just the dual racing. There's just you and the crew that you are racing today. And the interesting thing there is they don't measure the difference between the first and the second place. Those are the only 2 crews in time. They measure it in lengths, the amount of space between you and the next crew, whether it's a foot or a boat length, or if you can get far enough, easily. And that's what these girls from Craftsbury are doing. That's what they're striving towards in the women's under 23 quad. Craftsbury, those ladies are just crushing the competition. They're looking for that easily verdict, and they are going to cross the finish line, of course, unofficially until the umpires give the white flag. But it is Craftsbury in the women's under 23 quad.
That's really exciting stuff. Jenny, Mackenzie, Rhiannon, and Laura, 3 of those women coming second in their finals earlier today or earlier this week. And, best of luck to Rhiannon tomorrow in the single.
And, of course, you could just see in that last shot the excitement, the smiles, the handshakes, the congratulations, the fist pumps, just all of that emotion bleeding out of them as, they're fatigued. They just rode an incredible final. They won by 10 seconds, of course, unofficially over the next crew. And it just dissipates. Typically, once you win, it just dissipates, and all of the excitement, the payment off of the work you've put in over the winter, the spring, everything you've done so far, it bleeds away, and you just get the thrill of the win. So congratulations to those women.